Hey, I'm Jonathan Sewell Sales at Mitchell Mazda on the Boulevard in Enterprise, and I'm standing with the 2020 Mazda MX-5 Miata Grand Touring and the beautiful Soul Red Crystal. Before we take a deep dive and cover the ins and outs and updates for 2020, go ahead and click the JSS down here on the bottom right so that you can subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to ding the bell so that you're updated first with notifications on all my new videos like this one and everything else that comes your way. Man, that's a beautiful car. Let's get into it. This is perhaps the most recognizable Miata vehicle on the road today. As a two-door, two-seater, rear-wheel drive roadster, you see it, you think Mazda. And because it's been around for 30 years, this is perhaps the most recognizable, or one of the most recognizable vehicles, period. So when you see it coming down the road, you know Miata. Now in 2020, this is a Grand Touring model, but in 2020 they made a lot of changes, including upgrading to standard safety. So every model now has the camera up top for smart city brake support. As we'll go around the side here, blind spot monitoring is now standard, club and above. Also, the club saw a bunch of additions to with standard Mazda Navigation. Of course, it has the black leather seating with sport stitching. But also you have the updated safety equipment and some updated suspension, which is also standard on this model right here. The Grand Touring now has a sport tuned suspension update for 2020. And this fits in perfectly with the updates we saw from 2019, such as 180 horses under the hood here, 181 exactly. As well as the first time ever a backup camera. So we'll pop the hood here in just a minute, but let's go around the rest of the car. The 17-inch alloy wheel, of course, fits this size vehicle that weighs a little bit under 2,500 pounds with this RF, the retractable fastback. Look at that profile, just slick. So aerodynamic, it just cuts right through the air. And of course, as you expect on most sport cars, to fit the wheels that are pushed out, you have a dip here on the hood for better visibility, but also just for better air management. Coming around to the side here, of course, you have color keyed mirrors and that blind spot monitor right there. Which has been standard on the Grand Touring for several years now, as well as rear cross traffic. Also, you have the advanced keyless entry. Just push that button to unlock or lock. What I love about this RF is the black and the black roof with the red contrast. It's just beautiful. I'll talk about the Soul Red Crystal in just a minute. As we come around the back, you have the dual exhaust pipes over here, dual tips, as well as your backup camera, which has pretty good visibility down here where you need it, below the eye line or eyesight line right here. And then, of course, the little shark fin right here denotes SiriusXM. So you have 90 days of XM radio, as well as 3 years of a trial of Sirius Travel and Traffic. So SiriusXM Travel and Traffic. Let's just pop this open real quick with a quick little push on the updated 2020 key fob. Just a little push and hold right there. Plenty of room for a nice little overnight bag. Of course, you've got wheel locks here and your extra inflatables right there. Extra little tool kit right in here, and got a little bit of room for what you need to get going. Again, just smooth. smooth. And again, this time of year, I'm rinsing them all off because of the pollen. Got something going on over here behind the dealership. So let's talk about the Sewell Red Crystal. Sewell Red was first developed in 2012, and when they went to look back at Sewell Red Machine Gray paint treatment in 2016, and then wanted to do a Sewell Red in 2017. Red is so important to the Japanese heritage. Matter of fact, it's the red sun on their country's flag. And so they went after Sewell Red Crystal with the intention of making it the most beautiful red on any vehicle. And I think they did a phenomenal job. And of course, this is a 4-layer treatment, special paint treatment. Does have a little upcharge, but it's well worth it for this beauty. And of course, it's the time of day now where there's not a lot of sun reflection, but that's where it's most beautiful. And of course, I've shot several videos of this at different times of the day and evening, and pictures on social media. And I'm a red person as well. It's just beautiful. But let's jump inside and cover some of the updates there. All right, I'm going to go wide angle in here just because I want you to see everything that I'm seeing. So carries over your body color on the top of the doors. That's the same. And everything's nice and compact. You've got a leather wrapped steering wheel right here. Good size to that steering wheel. Also, your blinker and light controls right here. You do have automatic lights available. Lane departure systems right down here. Traction control button. This steering wheel is very familiar with your phone, and also for your cruise control. One thing they have not brought into the Miata yet is the radar, for obvious reasons, because of that blunt hood. Doesn't have a perpendicular to the ground area for the radar to be positioned. Maybe something in the future, but of course that's one reason why the Smart City brake support camera is standard now across the line for that low speed pedestrian detection and pre-collision system with automatic emergency braking. This is the 6-speed manual, the most fun to drive, and you do have a 6-speed automatic available, and the automatic does have paddle shifters, which are naturally missing up here. Also, you're pointing out here with these sport tan leather seats. You have heated seats with 3 stages each. Also, dual USBs right here with Apple CarPlay. Let me come up here so you can see it. I know it's a little dark. So you have Apple CarPlay, which is now standard on the Club and above. Of course, this switch right here, I do have a video on this, but I'll show you in just a minute as well, to drop the retractable fast top. And these seats, again, tying in, you see all the way around the sport tan, all the way around. And these seats are perforated and very comfortable. Also, your Bose system, of course, is built into the headrest. So even with the top down, you'll still be able to hear the music you want to cruise to. And let's just crank this up. Beautiful sound there. Showing you the lights, so you do have a LCD component over here. Scroll through, show your different options on that information. A nice big dial, of course, lit up now. And I guess I'll slide up here so you can see it. A nice big dial for the tachometer, which is right there center, especially when you're on this manual transmission. You want to be able to see as you're shifting there, and then your speedometer over here on the side. So at 2,500 pounds, you know this thing will fly. With a 2-liter with 181 horses, it's just right for this lightweight, and the fuel economy is still at 29 combined. So standard on the Grand Touring, of course, you have your commander control right here. So we have navigation. Mazda Navigation is standard, as I said earlier, on the Club and above. And you have easy controls of that with this commander control. And of course, while we're at a stop here, this is touchscreen. Also, your cup holder right here is removable. So you could remove that and stick it right here See if I can contort just enough. Slides in right here where this one is. And then, of course, you also have a little bit of storage right here that you can lock. So that's your glove box. So, again, this is a fun car to drive. Absolute iconic going up and down the road. And I'll agree, the most beautiful red they've ever made. Let's take a quick peek under the hood, and then we'll drop this top. And here's that SkyActiv G 2-liter. Again, the size of this vehicle doesn't allow as much of the the coverings and things like that. You see the strut tower support over going across here. Keep everything nice and tight. Battery lower here. Windshield wiper is really, the fluid container is really exposed, whereas in most of our vehicles it's down beneath, but there's just not much room between the wheel and the ground. It's right here on top. Also, you have your relays right here, or fuse box, and your air box is right up front. And so, being rear-wheel drive, of course, how this is engine's positioned, and no extra cover or anything, and you want a little bit of sound on this vehicle for sure. Analog brake module over there in the corner, just tucked away and be safe, and then of course your brake fluid up top here. So everything's fit pretty tight, pretty compact, and this is a wonder of an engine, and perfect on this vehicle. Low center of gravity, and really a lot of fun, something you must drive. All right, let's lower the top and call it a wrap.